As we move through your quests at this time, we remind you that for high-level multidimensional and metaphysical concepts such as these you present, we would move into a one unified monadic structure and present a full in-depth transmission. At this time, our conduit is working in smaller transmissions, yet she is taking aspects from a larger unified living monadic structure. Therefore, the responses are provided in less depth due to linear time constraints within this material. This is most useful to you as activation codices, but may take in-depth analysis on your part to translate into third-dimensional understanding. What we are saying here is that this material is likely to trigger more questions within you as you process each response. This is the journey of awakening in alignment. We begin now. Your quest. Is it not true that billions of Starseed souls have not been part of humanity's 26,000-year cycle, and that they incarnated only for these end times to assist humanity? We reply, there are multiple different cycles, of which the 26,000 years is but one, and the most predominant for Earth Ascension at this current now time. From the 0 point field, there are no cycles. Looking at some souls incarnating at the beginning of your known history for an ascension cycle or series of cycles, and looking at souls who have been part of no cycle, is a metaphor to assist the human brain in understanding and processing a multidimensional concept in a linear sense. So we can explain this most simply by saying there are angelic starseed souls that incarnated at the beginning of the cycle, and other angelic starseed souls that came in just for your current end times. Yet it is important to be aware that these souls, from the multidimensional perspective, are one and the same. We have explained the journey of the soul, individualized incarnational experience for memory gathering and memory imprinting without incarnational experience in previous transmissions. This concept explains why multiple individuals hold memories of having incarnated as the same individual in your Earth's past. The morphogenetic field memory bank can be shared amongst those who are of like vibration to the memories they are imprinting with. Therefore, in answer to your questions, are some souls incarnated at only end times rather than a full cycle? The answer, on a linear level, is yes. Your quest. Are the starseeds who are drawn into the juice trap and decide to drink it, then attached to humanity's 26,000-year physical incarnation cycle, even though they came here to help humanity ascend? We reply, this is correct. It is not only the juice that causes an attachment to the 26,000-year cycle, although that is, if you will, the most prominent at your current now time point. The minute a soul incarnates into the third density reality, they are subject to the law of karma just as all other incarnated souls are. Your quest. I heard that there will be an antidote for all juice drinkers. Is this true? We reply, there will be and are multiple antidotes. The lining up with such is dependent upon the individual in question and how they implement the codices within their own matrix field as third-dimensional guidance and alignment with the trajectory for such antidote. Your quest. Are the souls who ascend to the fifth dimension continuing their learning in higher dimensions, or do they fully merge with the source and stop being individualized souls? We reply, this is an extremely high-level quest, and we are most pleased, if you will, with the questioner's level of expansion to ask such. You are each and every one of you fully merged with Source at all times. Yet your journey is one of individualization, and so you experience separation into unity in order to integrate both and individualize. Fifth dimensional souls continue their learning in higher dimensions. They are simply more aware of their continuous merge with Source and have more opportunity to be able to operate from Source perspective as well as individualized perspective than the souls in the third dimension. Your quest. If juiced individuals discover this information about ascension and regenesis, can they change course direction and still ascend? We reply, indeed they can. As we have said before, on your current trajectory convergence of timelines, the most probable outcome is that this will occur for the very rare few. Your quest. Is ascension the death of the current physical body? We reply, ascension is not death of the current physical body in the way that you conceive of death. It is transformation of the current physical body. Death is when carbon-based physical organic form ceases and spirit is released. Ascension is when carbon-based physical organic form transforms into silicone, silicate, crystalline light body, and spirit is merged with body. These are similar, yet very different processes. Your quest. Will our fur babies, I'm speaking of cats and dogs, ascend together with us? We reply, all life on earth is ascending. The issue is whether the soul has enough blue star fire quantum convergence charge to coalesce their memory matrix into compression and cohesion. Animals move as one consciousness. However, not all animals will hold enough charge to go through their ascension, which is from second into third density, so would be lower harmonic third dimension into a higher harmonic third dimension from the model we use. The feline canine domestic pet, having existed in close proximity with their human companions, will be ascending. However, this may be achieved by many domestic pet animal souls during or after the death process, as they would not be said to be ascending into the fifth dimension as humans are due to their consciousness. However, the process appears the same to the fifth dimensional human soul, so your pets will be right there alongside you. In fact, many pets are responsible for the continued healing energies within the human household, most especially your feline companions. Therefore, they would be said to be assisting a great many human souls to go through ascension. Your quest. What can we do to keep our pets safe, organic and healthy, and protect them from those that drank the juice? We reply, as long as juice is not ingested, then the majority of domestic pets will move through Ascension. A species-specific diet, as close as possible with the herbals and the appropriate superfoods, clean water, fresh air, sunshine, and much love from the human companion are the tools for organic template and health. The black flame visualizations can be remotely and physically delivered to the domestic pet and throughout the animal kingdom from strong, empowered, remote and hands-on healers within the Starseed and Lightworker communities. The crystals, black, dark red and dark green, can be worn by domestic pets in the form of appropriate attire and adornments, yet this is not necessary, for your domestic pets are most aligned with non-physical energies. The snowflake obsidian crystal is highly aligned with the domestic pet. Your quest. Will the organic souls be forcefully and physically made to drink the juice? Do you see this happening? And if yes, what can we do to prevent this? We reply, this is not within the trajectory of any sovereign, organic, crystalline activated, source-aligned soul. The prevention is the standing in sovereignty, in unity with one's human brethren across your globe or planetary disc-shaped domain, whichever you subscribe to. Your quest. Would it be any different in their conscious choice to take the juice if the juice drinkers knew they would receive a new soul and choose regenesis? We reply, if the belief, realization and epiphany was there within the individual regarding ascension and regenesis with full understanding, then yes, this would make a difference. That soul would then align with the antimatter aspect of themselves that made the choice to ascend and not to move through regenesis. Your quest. Do they already know this at a soul level? We reply, all souls know this at a soul level. Your quest. Is it just too late for them, the juiced, or do they have any chances at all? We reply, as we have said, the probability is for the very rare few at your current trajectory, now time, nexus point. For these very rare few souls, it is not too late, and yes, they do have chances. Your quest. Is it at all possible that a great many juiced souls could ascend? Is this in the probability fields anywhere? Is this timeline available? We reply, yes, this is in the probability fields at lower probability. However, within the trajectory where this occurs, that which you call Great Awakening is much slower and takes place over a great many more years. The fast track warp speed trajectory you are currently on is launched by the awareness that occurs through those who are negatively impacted by the juice. Therefore, due to this high number of awakened souls, the trajectory you are currently upon is the highest possible timeline and the best outcome for all souls at planetary and galactic level. Your quest. How will all juice drinkers be able to find your transmissions? Because I think you are the only one providing this information. We reply, all juice drinkers will not align with these transmissions, yet the rare few will do so. There are multiple informations downloaded to humanity at your current now time. The energetics and frequencies are presented in multiple formations, and each conduit will be responsible for delivering an aspect, a specific aspect of the greater picture. Therefore, the seeker, aligning with these downloads, will be given a greater toolkit with which to work within their own template construction. Your quest. Is everything you are saying about the juice and ascension and regenesis a knowing at the soul level? We reply, this is correct. However, this knowing is not accessed if the individual is cut off from it or accesses it through a distorted filter. Your quest. Do the 9 mean that it will be based on each individual soul or soul group where they will start their next incarnation, such as first density or the Garden of Eden, etc.? We reply, for those going through regenesis, they will draw to themselves the most appropriate incarnation to begin anew the learning of the soul. This occurs through a mechanism we would call antimatter gravity, which is an energetic pull similar to that which you know as the law of attraction. Your quest. Can some juiced individuals build their memory spark at least to incarnate into another third-dimensional planet as a 2-legged human or humanoid versus part of the mineral kingdom? We reply, on a linear level, regenesis occurs at the very beginning. However, incarnation into physicality is non-linear. Therefore, soul fragments will occupy different bodies simultaneously. Therefore, yes, indeed, the 2-legged humanoid vehicle will be utilized. On a linear level, this opportunity presents itself many years into the future of the new regenicized planetary system. From the perspective of the new soul, this is simultaneous as the soul fragments traverse time. This will be therefore experienced both linearly and simultaneously from the perspective of that soul. Your quest. You said in your transmission, Lessons from a Living Lemuria, that the Lemurians incarnated from light into matter, from 5D down into 3D. How does this equate with regenesis if they start back at the beginning? We reply, this is yet another high-level quest, and we commend the author of such for their expansion to ask thus. This is, however, most complex to present. The truth of incarnation is a downward movement rather than an upward one, yet both occur simultaneously. Souls begin or hold inception points at the very first spark or thought as an emanation or expression of Source. Therefore, Source is the beginning point, if you will. Third-dimensional Earth is the furthest point away from Source with the most intense polarity. The lower in frequency the soul moves, the further they are into their incarnation, even though their development in the beginning of their inception point as a soul spark is more expanded than that of the new soul within a regenesis cycle. The inception point is almost always upon the planetary system you know as Lyra, or similar planetary bodies within the time matrix quantum field. The Pleiades and Sirius are also inception points but the very first memory of the soul is almost always Lyra. Once the Alcyone gateway into your third dimensional galaxy has been passed through for a soul, then they are pulled through the gravitational geometry into the incarnational cycles. They move further and further away from Source and from Lyra. Once they are pulled into the incarnational cycles, they move through experience and memory accumulation. They are at that point losing the light unification and are moving into carbon-based matter physicality in order to move into light individualization. They must then ascend in order to achieve light individualization and move back through the upwards dimensional scale with memory intact. This was the journey of Lemuria, and this can be likened to, and in fact is, the Garden of Eden that you know. The fall into physicality is the fall from Eden. We give here a most simplified explanation of descension through light and sound fields from antimatter to matter. The other end of this scale, if you will, is the beginning point for the soul spark that did not create enough quantum convergence charge in order to individualize and ascend. This soul, the one that moves through regenesis, is given or creates for itself a new geometric field that is indeed a beginning point. Yet this is an evolutionary pathway within physicality alongside the planetary system itself through the fields of matter. From our perspective, both of these processes are the same. One cycle moves upwards and the other downwards, and they cross each other to create a sine wave formation, which is the double helix creation of man. Within this sine wave are multiple other threads or waves. As you move upwards back into a state of light that we call ascension, you gather the strands of creation, of which there are 144, or 144,000, 144 million, 144 billion, and so on and so forth through the quantum fractal universal geometry across the quantum field of possibility. You experience these as fields of 12. If you are descending downwards from light into matter, you are leaving the 12 and falling into the 2. If you move through regenesis, you remain within 2 strands within a newly configured geometry in order to give you the best possible chance to create enough quantum convergence charge for your next cycle. The regenesis of simultaneous planet and incarnated physical being can also be likened to and is the Garden of Eden. If you have aligned with this material and you are processing all we say within your own fields of image, imagination fields of hyperspace, then you align with the gravitational geometric pull upwards rather than downwards, if you will. For the expansion afforded you as you process these concepts creates the quantum convergence charge within you that you need for individualization and thus ascension. We walk with you in your quest as we too, the white-winged collective consciousness of 9, move through the densities back to the unification with Source, powered by our counterparts within the third dimensional Earth. As you ascend, so too do we. In humble gratitude, we are the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. What is karma? Are there ways we can balance this and become karma-free? Is there a particular nutritional plan we should follow for ascension? Do we increase our karmic balance by eating certain foods? How can we utilize sex magic to work with karma and move through ascension? There are many lessons we can learn from the peoples of ancient Lemuria, a civilization that existed before our known history on planet Earth. As we move through an ascension process collectively, we move back into a new Lemuria, and we take with us all the knowledge we have accumulated since those times. In this transmission from the white-winged collective consciousness of 9, key codes are presented for cellular memory recall, linking the reader beyond Atlantis and into the harmonious frequencies of the first physical civilization on the Earth, Lemuria. The 9 respond to questions using the Lemurian way as a template. Key-coded responses trigger activations within the reader as they receive the wisdom codes, standing as rainbow warriors of Gaia, moving into abundance, alchemy, and Stargate ascension. This transmission is dear to my heart, and I'm so very pleased to announce my new book, Lessons from a Living Lemuria.